Hey guys, imagine a stranger randomly knocks at your door and asks you if you could take a photo of him playing soccer at your backyard. That's strange, right? What are you going to do? Most likely reject him, I think. Well, it happened. Take a look at this.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hey, this is for a special project. Do you think it's possible for you to take a picture of me playing soccer in your backyard?
Playing soccer in my backyard.
Yeah.
Do you know that when we experience rejection, our brains react similarly to how it will react when we experience physical pain? I'm sure you didn't quite know that. There's the research there, by the way. According to Ethan Cross and a few other researchers, their study showed that social rejection activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. This means that rejection literally feels painful, not just emotionally, but on a neurological level. But why does rejection hurt so much? Why do I feel so hurt when I get rejected? I think I know why. For someone who's experienced a couple of rejections, I think one of the main reasons is that we think about our rejection experiences wrongly. And when we think about it wrongly, it affects how we feel about it and ultimately how we react. But what if we could think about our rejection experiences differently in a way that doesn't hurt us? This book taught me how, and this is what we're reviewing today. So if you're new here, this video is part of a couple of series on my channel I call Reflections, where I get to share lessons from life and the books I read. Think of it as a mini book club, sort of, right? So since we're talking about rejection, please kindly subscribe to my channel. I cannot build this channel and review this book all by myself. Don't reject me. Rejection really hurts. Thank you. So let's get down to it. I'm sure you might have heard rejection stories of famous people like J.K. Rowling, Michael Jordan, Walt Disney, but that's the kind of rejection stories I'd like to share today. It's about this guy, Jia Jiang. He had a very interesting rejection experience, and then he turned it into a book with many lessons called Rejection Proof. Remember the strange request from the beginning of this video? This is the response.
Do you think it's possible for you to take a picture of me playing soccer in your backyard?
Playing soccer in my backyard.
Yeah, it's for a special project.
I guess so.
You sure? Wow, okay. Didn't expect you to say yes. Why do you say yes?
Why did I say yes?
Yeah.
Because it was really so off the wall. How could I say no?
I like that.
Let me give you a backstory before we dive in. Jia Jiang quit his 9-to-5 job to pursue his childhood entrepreneurial dreams. Then he encountered his first major rejection blow from investors. He realized that if he was going to pursue this path, he needed to understand how to handle rejection. So he came up with an idea to embark on a 100 days rejection challenge where he went out into the streets to make absurd requests.
Excuse me, can we take a picture
just
together?
to intentionally get rejected, while also blogging this experience for the public to see. The goal was to overcome his fear of rejection and improve his chances of success in the future. I'll be sharing a few of those rejection attempts in this video and the lessons he gained through them. Let's dive in. First rejection attempt. Jia decided to ask a stranger at his office to lend him $100. This is how it went.
Excuse me, do you think I can borrow $100 from you?
No.
No?
Why?
All right. No, okay, sorry, thanks.
When Jia analyzed the situation after he got home, he realized that he reacted out of fear. He never gave himself an opportunity to tell the stranger why he needed $100 from him, even when the stranger asked him why. He simply just ran off out of fear. So here's what he learned about rethinking rejection. The way we make a request and how we follow through on the conversation has an impact on the result that we get. It might not change the outcome, but it will take a lot of sting out of hearing no. Projecting confidence and staying calm rather than cowering creates a totally different experience. His next rejection attempt was to ask a Krispy Kreme staff attendant to prepare him a custom-made Olympic ring donut. Yeah, really? But guess what? She agreed.
What kind of specialized donuts are you talking about?
I like to have getting you link the 5 donuts together, make them look like Olympic symbols.
And when are you looking for these?
Huh?
When?
Next 15 minutes?
I don't know if we can do that. Let me see what I can do. That's the best I could do with what we've got. That's my pleasure.
What are the odds? That experience showed him that many things are possible with a little bit of bravery and creativity. If he didn't ask that seemingly absurd question, he would never have experienced that moment. The Olympic ring donor would never have been made, and the attendant would never have had the opportunity to please a customer in an unexpected way. As a result of that experience, his focus shifted from simply just trying to get the rejection and coping with the pain to having the courage to make big requests. He stopped caring so much about getting a yes or a no, which meant he started to care less about what other people thought of him. His next rejection challenge was to find a job in one day. He decided to go to random offices with his resume to ask for a one-day job. His first 2 attempts proved negative, but he decided to give it one more try. And then on his last attempt, he met Jennifer at the company. This is how it went.
You manage the office, right? You make decision for office management. Can I work for you for one day? I can do anything that's moral and legal. Anything.
It's more legal.
Yeah. I really want to work with you for one day.
Okay.
Just you. Okay.
Just
Just you.
Okay.
Can you say yes to that? I will go through the whole clearance process. If they don't approve it, that's fine.
right.
You can ask me to do any sort of office work.
After hearing his quest, she didn't kick him out. She was curious to know why he wanted the job in the first place. And then after many considerations with the management team, 3 days after, he was offered a position as the personal assistant to Jennifer for a day. When he got the opportunity to ask Jennifer why she said yes, she said having a well-spoken man with a good resume come by the office asking for a one-day job piqued her interest, and that's why she said yes. But it was more than that. Growing up, Jennifer's father was a salesman who taught her the importance of being inquisitive about people's intentions and not simply dismissing their requests. Her mom taught her the importance of hospitality and maintaining a positive attitude towards people. In college, she worked as a waitress in restaurants, and being a waitress taught her to never say no to people's requests without first trying to prefer a solution to them.
I'm going to look at what your skill set is and see if there's a department that might be better suited.
All these experiences and perspective made Jennifer who she was and influenced how she responded to Jia. So here's the lesson about rethinking rejection. Jia learns that rejection is a human interaction and people could act differently to the same request, and it says nothing about you. Their responses reflect their own attitude, sense of curiosity, risk tolerance, and even life experiences, which varies across different people. And this can make people lose confidence after getting a few rejections. But Jennifer helped him see that that wasn't true. The universe is made up of people with diverse and opposite personalities and backgrounds. Their reaction to a request says much about them than the request itself. Retreat, don't run. In military warfare, there is an important distinction between a retreat and a rout. A retreat is temporary. Troops retreat to regroup, to consolidate their forces, or to shift to a better tactical position. Rout, on the other hand, is a total collapse of a troop's fighting ability. In a rout, losing troops often drop their weapons and run for their lives. And it's in those routs that the most casualties occur. For many people who are afraid of rejection, who are anxious about it, asking for things can feel like a mini battlefield. When you're already uncomfortable asking for things, it can be hard to judge whether to keep on persisting or stop after a no. In the writer's experience, he realized that if he kept on asking and insisting on what he wanted, regardless of what the other person said, the other person would get annoyed or would turn him down. On the other hand, if he turned and fled, he would create a route of his own making. In both ways, he wouldn't get what he wanted. The biggest casualty in those battles was not the rejection, but his resulting loss of confidence. He realized he could retreat, reassess, and try a new approach. If he could adjust his request and approach his ask from another angle, he realized that interesting and unexpected things can happen. So if you can't do this, can you do that? Let me give an example. If you get turned down for a job, one option is to get sad and flee. Another option is to ask for a possible recommendation for another position based on your qualification and your experience. If you ask somebody for $100 and he or she can't, instead of you making an assumption or being upset, you could say, you can't, that's fine, right? But can we discuss other alternatives that you can help me financially or to be able to meet that need? The principle here is to recognize first that the other person might not be able to fulfill the original request, which is okay. Second, provide other options that might be more feasible or appealing. Third, demonstrate willingness to compromise and find a mutually beneficial solution. By having a position to retreat and keeping an open mind, you can avoid being routed by rejection. But wait, we need to balance the rejection equation. We've understood how to rethink rejection from the victim's point of view, that's the person being rejected. But sometimes we're the rejecter. How do we say no when we're in the position to do so? Or when it feels difficult to say no to another person's well-intentioned requests? Here's how the author approached it in his book. He looked through all the rejection experience in his videos and analyzed how the people he approached delivered their rejection. And he realized this: not all rejections were equal. Some rejections were good and some were bad. Some people delivered their rejection in a harsh and in a dismissive way, while others were kind and ultimately made him like them even more. So he gave some perspective on how to give the perfect rejection. So first, be polite. If you have to reject somebody, do it nicely. It softens the blow of the rejection. Second, in addition to being polite, there's nothing more frustrating than delaying your rest and giving an indirect / sugar-coated rejection. And sometimes it's even very counterproductive. 3, offer an alternative. Sometimes we're genuinely unable to accept some people's requests for several reasons, but we can listen patiently, decline politely, and with our problem-solving abilities, I believe you have that, offer alternative solutions to helping them solve their problems. There are ways we can reject people and make them feel devalued and ultimately lose their confidence just by asking. And there are ways that we can turn people down with kindness and respect and giving them hope and confidence to try again. So you get to choose how you reject people. Finally, let rejection become a motivation. I remember in my early years trying to build skills, and because I'm very passionate about learning, so I would go to different people, some people I thought could help me develop skills, some professionals, and I would go to them. I wanted to learn this, I wanted to learn that, and I would get either delayed or either ignored or some funny rejection experience. And trust me, those things really hurt me until one particular experience. That was when killed it for me. I went to this person and he declined, he ignored, right? And that was a turning point for me. At that point, I said, that was enough, right? I'm never going to have to deal with this anymore. And I flipped that experience and turned it to an opportunity for self-improvement. And trust me, it worked. At the end of it, I realized that I didn't need those people to grow as I thought I needed them, just because I flipped the situation and turned it into an opportunity for self-improvement. So here's what the writer said to wrap this all up. Rejection is an experience that is up to us to define. It only means what you choose it to mean. Your relationship with rejection can be positive or negative, and it all depends on how you spin it or how you interpret it to yourself. On the side of a rejecter, in an attempt to give a rejection, it's important to make people feel that your rejection on their request is not a rejection on their person. Because for some, it's difficult to create that distinction in their minds. For some people, a rejection on their request is a rejection on their person, which isn't always true. When you're not afraid of rejection and feel like you have nothing to lose, amazing things can happen. Don't forget to subscribe for more on this series.